So I'm not going to say too much. Thank you very much indeed. Welcome to the Report Arts Centre. I'm not going to say too much about what you're about to see, because it will be explained by the first person I introduce. So, suffice it to say that we've had 7 ridiculously talented young people who've been working with a professional poet for the last 2 weekends to craft the amazing pieces that you are about to see performed for your delight. Sometimes when you go to poetry recitals, it's very po-faced and very quiet and everybody's... that is not this show. You are allowed, you are positively encouraged to clap, cheer and go berserk at even the slightest opportunity. There you go, that's what we're talking about. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce the poet who has been leading, shaping and guiding this incredible ship, and he will explain to you a bit more about what's been going on. So some of you probably already know this poet, but for those of you who don't, he's an absolutely extraordinary talent, and we're very, very privileged and lucky to have now to get to work with our young people. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Anthony Anaxagorou.
Can you hear me all right if I speak like this? Is that right? Or should I use yeah. Good to see you. Thank you very much for coming. As Ed said, it's been a really eventful 2 weekends. This is the culmination. The idea was, one, to look at what it means, what does resonate me for the young people, but also to kind of explore poetry and how we think of poetry, its function, its use, our relationship to language and ideas. And my approach to this was very much trying to get the group to, I think, expand on what they thought poetry was. You know, most people have an experience with poetry in school at kind of GCSE level, and they don't want to touch it again. So I kind of wanted to try and reintroduce the way in which we think of poetry, get them to take risks, to incorporate different elements. You'll see some music is going to be showcased here as well. Some of them had poems already that we then developed, but we were looking at language, risk, pushing meaning. What does it mean to mean? How is meaning established? How is it negotiated within a society? How do we understand systems of logic within a language structure? So all of these things were kind of being discussed. We looked at a whole range of poems, from kind of American avant-garde through to the traditional British poems. So we looked at a whole spectrum of things, and we had some really generative discussions around all the different ways in which poems work. What you'll see is like a distillation of last weekend and yesterday as well. And at the end, there's this really cool kind of collective poem that we'll talk about more when we get there. The group's comprised of the participants who are under 21 and volunteers who are over the age of 21. So that's what they're going to be hearing. That's what you're going to be hearing tonight. There'll be no introductions per se. We're going to do the bios at the end. So the poets will come up one at a time, say their name, and then they'll read for 5 minutes each, and then we'll come up and hear the end. So to warm things up, I'm going to read a poem from this collection that is actually very old now. It came out in 2019, called After the Formalities. And it's kind of saying too much, but it was inspired when Britain, or when the UK left, when the referendum happened, an incident occurred, and it kind of inspired this poem. It's called Uber. Door shuts, winds slap a magic tree around. A radio hums songs into us both. One of 2 phones rings. From an edge, he tells her he'll call back in a language half packed back when I assume things took a turn for the worse. A flag hanging from the rear view. I ask where. He says Mauritius. Returning my question, I say Cyprus. Asking if he prefers it here. He says sleep is easier. The roads at night less congested. At the lights, I ask about children. From his pocket, he pulls a photo of a girl. I note the way her smile matches her mother's in the picture. Everyone's together, smiling. She turned 9 last week, he said. It's been over 5 years. Now, rain. Wipers wave like a tired pair of arms. A car makes an emergency stop. A homeless man moves like a saw into traffic. When will you see her again, I ask. Soon, soon. Now, traffic builds. The other way would have been quicker, he says. To our right, a van pulls up. 2 men motion to lower windows. In rain, he does, we do, go home. Home, go home. Home, laughing up a storm front, then speeding off. He tucks his daughter back in, her mother, himself, gripping the wheel like a gun. How much can a pair of hands keep? One of 2 phones rings. Declining the call, the song on the radio ends. An ad suggests a weekend break to Europe. Turning it off, bringing us right into where we were, asking, what about you? Do you have children? Do you prefer it here?
Hi, I'm Ruth, and my poem is Cherry. 8. Climbs cherry tree for fruit stolen from the birds, held up by wooden knotted fingers. Outstanding balance teetering, the magpies wear suits to the funeral. Kitchen door is ajar, not a door, a jar. Sugars spilling sunset onto taciturn tile, 17 silver sparks slipping through knotted fingers. Sultry, salacious, soliciting stares, swaying sachets spinning to bed, to bar, to box. One for sorrow. Hello, Mr. Magpie, how's your wife and children? Curled up on patchwork elephants and buttered toast bears. Nests in high trees, trees the size of your fingernails. Morning glory, damnation in tall spires of balsam. Eternal flowers on the casket. 12. Double-edged, knotted fingers push between braced teeth, bile, acid, melting clocks. There was a boy with flaming hair and blueberries for eyes, craving everything, name disremembered on a heartstone. 28. Sweetened eyeball pills. A hospital, not a hospital. A padded room, shattered walls, a window. One for sorrow. Laughter, burning salt, 3 times over golden shoulder. There was boy, 3 magpies, girl, 4, and another, and another, and another, and until sky is covered by grayscale feather. Think the birds, please. Now picture a 6pence, 5. The power was given, taken, consumed. Unripe cherries, pheasant darkness, pits slipping through brittle, knotted fingers. The fruit rotted in August.
Hi everyone, my name is Lou. In case it's not obvious to you whether I'm in the under 21 category or the over 21, I won't say. This, oh, I think it is, it's just not in the right place. Is that better? Yeah. Okay. This piece is called Ready. Black-edged dreams unenvelop a warning. Phone rings, wrong time of the morning, a blade of grass glitters, salt is spilt. Ready? No. For what? No. Pretend you don't know. No, 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 not this. Engagement ring, wedding ring, eternity, phone rings. Your fingers clutch your fingers. Diamond rings, gold rings, old rings, not this. There were people around the bed, invisible, but not to her. Her eyes pick them out, see through you. To her, you are the invisible one. You thought they were angels. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, bless the bed. They were the dead. Dead sisters, dead husband, friends, holding the bride's thin veil, holding out their arms. Ready? She is not. Here is a granddaughter, son, nurse, pink sponge squares, voices, love. Salt, dry lips move, ringless fingers pluck at the covers. Then silence. Lights flicker. Nurses change shift. The dead shift round the bed. Now. Do it now. Phone rings, it's wrong time, morning warning. Ready?
The fear of water ebbs and flows, engulfs, peaks, sickening, waiting to me, too heavy. So many flies obtusify the glass. I met him outside Lidl's. He was carrying 2 bottles of cola, the bath outside his house.
Hello, my name's Rosie. Is this working? Yeah, okay. Damsel in distress, the fairy tale princess, can't save herself, wait for the knight in shining armour to sweep her up and carry her up the hill to her house where he'll leave her to brush the vomit out of her teeth. Damsel in distress, the fairy tale princess, can't bear to miss out. He has to be there. Don't leave him at home, bring him along. Drive him all the way out to Egerton and back again. Roll the windows down. Damsel in distress, the fairy tale princess, can't save the knight. He fights the dragons. They watch him, locked in their ivory tower. Their finger hovers over the send button for an attempt at an encouraging text. Damsel in distress, the fairy tale princess, can't really be a princess. She's a beast, not a beauty. She doesn't deserve help. I don't deserve help. I should stand on my own 2 feet, but I lean on a cane someone else bought for me. Damsel in distress, the fairy tale princess, can't see, can't move, can't think, can't breathe, can't be around people, can't be left alone. Quick, take her home. They're too sick. He can't stay. You know what I'm sick of? Can't. Damn my distress. I'm no delicate princess. Watch me grit my teeth and struggle to my feet. I refuse to be forgotten. I refuse to be just another fairy story. What did you do? Nothing. I know what they mean. Are you hurt? Are you sick? When will you be better? Never. Look at the cane and see an injury, an ailment. Bury me in a coffin built from false sympathy. Tell me I'm boxing myself in, though I struggle to escape. Lament somebody I never was, could never be. Tiny Tim, the golden child, typical Victorian storybook cripple, makes up for it with innocent, unbearable niceness. I dress like a Victorian time traveller, got lost in the 70s, then stuck here. Look at my clothes, not my body. Surrounded by eyes, faces of concern, faces of judgment. I'll trick myself into thinking the eyes, look at my clothes, not my body. You think the cane made me sick. You think the diagnosis made me autistic. An invisible man with a cane and headphones. Smothered in bandages, though nothing's broken. I'm not your inspiration. The height of your pedestal gives me vertigo. You won't catch me when I fall. Lay me down, pin me down, weigh me down with shovelfuls of dirt. Mourn your expectations, the golden ghost of your gifted child. Have you forgotten that Tiny Tim did not die? He's alive, and so am I.
And this is the only one with a real title. It's called The Joy of Being a Disabled Person Who Loves a Disabled Person. Your insides are eating themselves alive. Our bodies are covered in constellations, scars and scabs, stars of flesh decorate my skin, and your intestines we can't eat, or our organs will punish us. The scream from the pipes masks the screams of the damned. Our minds are overgrown, our heads are filled with dandelion fluff. Soft little stars tell us the time. 7, you're given your answer. 16, I'm given mine. Pull up the weeds, but we're forgetting the seeds. The roots will spread and our veins will fill with mycelium, mycelium. Let's pray the rod doesn't reach our hearts, our hearts. They're okay, my head on your chest. I hear your pulse and I know you're alive. We're alive, our hearts still know how to beat and they know how to love. If we're sick, if we're rotten, if we're broken, at least we're broken together.
Hello. Sorry, I forgot the running order. Alright, so as you might be able to tell, I have just got over a massive cold and I'm going to be singing. So you're in for a treat. So a bit of backstory. I started properly writing songs at Resonate last year, and since then it's gone from something that I never even dreamed that I would do to like being my entire life. So in sort of homage to that, I've basically rewritten the song using the same chords and the same subject matter, but, you know, other than that, everything's different. So, yeah, this is called Giant. On the outside of your elbow, and I'm watching the New Forest roll by through shit-stained windows. How to disappear completely came in on the radio, and I don't know how I didn't crash. I had both of my eyes closed. I'm lost in the New Forest, all the trees look the same, and I love you like a tapeworm loves the insides of its prey. And I don't know why I feel like this. See all my friends as victims, nothing went wrong, but it's cold and I'm nothing more than tolerated. And is it paranoia? Is it logic? Is it fear? I think parasites must hate themselves and all that they hold dear. A billion lifeless bastards live off other people's waste. But I don't want to exist like this, I can't stand the taste. Giant, it's over. Your immune system's killing me, and I'll die into you slowly. If it ends like this, act naturally. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. mushrooms in my garden, fixed on bodies I wish were my own. I wish someone would cut me out, return me to my real home. You call us soulmates despite all the pain that I inflict, but I know I'm the parasitic twin. I'm a fucking sick, and I go fatter every day from the blood that you have lost. And when I'm drunk I convince you that I'm a lost cause, and when you agree I just blame it on your flaws. Take your worming pills, man, I don't wanna live no more. And is it paranoia? Is it logic? Is it fear? I love you but your mind aches whenever I am near. A billion lifeless bastards live up other people's waste, but I just can't do it, man. Your love's not mine to take. And giant, it's over. Your immune system's killing me. I'm running out of energy. I'll leave you to heal the scars of my memory. And giant, it's over. Your immune system's killing me, and I'll die so too slowly. If it ends this way, act naturally. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And I never realized I was your disease. I never realized, I never asked. I never realized I was killing both of us. I never realized, never asked. And giant, it's over. And giant, it's over. And giant, it's over. And giant, it's over.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ruth again, funnily enough, and I have a song for you. It's about the rain. It's raining again outside my window. Storm clouds gather, north winds blow. Cold's here to stay, they told me to go. The easiest lies to believe are the ones you already know. I hate the rain, and the pain attempts to rebuild what is broken. The cold and the winter, always the same. I hate the rain. Different down here, back by the sea. Your chains will be broken, your heart will be free. Come home, oh daughter of me. You're bruised and you're shattered, but we'll let you be. I hate the rain, and the pain attempts to rebuild what is broken. The cold and the winter, always the same.
Hi, I'm Millie, and my first thing that I'll be doing for you is a song that I wrote, and it's called Dear Death. Dear woman, those who know how it feels, speaking to you, you felt fear. Dear men, those who think that it's fine, hope you change for your wife. Dear friends, those I trusted with this despair, you abandoned me without a care. Dear man, the kind one who ruined me, did you know it was wrong that I'm young? He said sorry, so I'm singing this song. All see the wings that have withered. We all see the sins you've committed. Yet no one knows the pain you've caused. I shouldn't have to feel this way. I should have learned from some mistakes. I should always trust people. I know I was only young. I know I have had to grow up. 'Cause the man I knew didn't care that he was doing wrong. And now I live in fear of the man who did those things. Now I'm destroyed with all my dry tears. Dear parents, I hope you know I'm not okay. I feel like shit, I shouldn't stay. I tried to end it. I'm like a mirror that you punched. So how come I receive bad luck? Will it last for 7 years? You abandoned me, you left me, said to fight this war without me. Said you didn't want responsibility anymore. You never asked about the cuts, elastic band, or the scars. You ignored all of the tears and the blood. I shouldn't have to feel this way. I should have learned from some mistakes. I should always trust people. I know I was only young. I know I have had to grow up. 'Cause the man I knew didn't know that he was doing wrong. And now I live in fear of the man who did those things. And now I'm destroyed with all my dry tears. Thank you, my sisters, you saved me. I'm sorry if I made you unhappy. You fought him, you helped me, and you hated the man who ruined me. You'll never know how much I care, and you'll never know how much I love you. And thank you to all you here. I know it's not easy to have to hear. I hope you change now you know my life. And if you are me, then I am here. I'm a friend and I'll hold you dear. Because we know this world isn't ours. And we know it's hard. I shouldn't have to feel this way. I should have learned from some mistakes. I should always trust people. I know I was only young. I know I have had to grow up. 'Cause the man I knew didn't care what he was doing wrong. I want to be happy, I want to laugh. All I have is the sorrows from this song. second thing is a poem that I wrote, and it's called Battle of Sodden Hill. Ash rips your lungs to shred. You struggle to breathe the sodden air. Gasp, gasp, in, out. Blood splatters your face. Another one dead. Your friend is struck. He bleeds in your arms. Fire travels through the field, killing them all. It's almost biblical. Victory is ours, but at what cost? Pain, it burns. The fire is untamed. It's hit your skin. You're now burning. Your screams echoed. Your fear shared. Is this it? Or will you be scared? Or will you be saved? Black spots saw your vision as you lay there dying, realizing there's no one to cry to.
I'm over 21 and have been for a while. It's a very short one about, I think, selective amnesia, I think, I remember. Mountains hold memory, foothills near and far. From peaks of ice melt trickles, forgetting. Dates, times, commitments, regretting. Mixed memories, fraught faces, lost lists, upsetting. One trickle, a stream, a river, forgiving. Scoop from it and start sieving the nuggets from the water that you will let run away. Drink from it whenever you want, or don't, when you won't forgive and forget yet.
Hi everyone, I'm Eddie, and it's very nice to be here. And I've got two poems, and the first one is about fate, and the second one is about rising to the challenges of society together. And that's going to be an interesting one because I was just finishing writing it just then. So we'll see how that goes. But this is my first one. White hearse, taxi driving, drunk driver slumped over the steering wheel of your life. Your wife, your twisting stick spinning on a pin-top, town square central and anchored to infinity. Listen to me. His slurred voice tiptoes over your shoes, your crusted chin shaving the pavement of lice. Look, I own you, her voice springing up like a gun dog loaded trap, tracking you down and eating you alive. The bitter taste of bitter cake and truth freshly blooded. We sing like unchained angels. We writhe and flake and fall apart. Endless like an ant colony is this, our home, hearth, hearse and bone. Sticky and quiet, and slumped over itself in each night in the blue dark. And this one is called Still We Rise. And we are here now. Press your feet into the floor and trust the ground to hold you. Learn to feel the presence of others and, most importantly, the presence of yourself. Breathe. Outside this room, we walk under the shadow of the man that punches down, that denies disabled people benefits, that denies people in poverty decent housing, that denies trans people healthcare, that embraces inertia against a backdrop of violence, that fuels hate and then withholds hope from the hopeless. But here, inside this room with warmth for walls, we can exist only with each other for company. But what next? I realized recently I was hiding from the truth of the world by projecting all my hopes into the future. I sat in a room of found community and I realized I need to face the fucked upness of the world head on, plunge my fist into water, watch ripples spill between puddles and set my eyes against the horizon. Together we have built momentum and together we can continue to build momentum. An activist told me once that hopelessness is manufactured. Community is a doing word. None of us here have the power to change the world, but we have the power to build bridges and create connection, and that is how the world works. Our revolution is good words in the right place at the right time to send wheels spinning. So we rise to challenges facing us and placed in our way, carefully and carelessly, like truckfuls of paper-thick policy scattered across the eyes of illiterates. Still we rise until all politicians become public servants, and still we fold together stronger each time. Until we are an origami dragon, a fortress of layered paper, and still we push, still we climb higher, still we build more scaffolding for our friends, and then scaffolding for everybody, because everybody is our friend. Still we shoot for the moon and soar through the stars above air. Still we rise. But what next? Thank you.
I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be where I am now, sharing my message to you. I should be in the ground, churned up by worms and other crawlers, in time to be resurfaced, then taken by maggots. I should be dead, dead as dead is dead. And yet I stand, tall, proud, thriving, unwavering, in spite of every act of fate, in spite of every poison my body has made for me, every van that has barely seen by my face, whose air rushed against my young hair and left me swayed, in spite of every muscle that bends to gravity, every ankle that falls to its side, I still stand. Yet I've had it good. I'm lucky, simple as simple could be. I live here, in a place where I was allowed to live, where the beating of the heart was nothing but good, where I was able to recover, slowly, young. When my blood that had poisoned itself was now gone, cleaned, good. The soft tingle of my senses before I went off to dream. Then awakening with the new friend attached to me, the sadness when they were removed, the scars I still have over my heart and my side. I should be dead, and yet I still stand. I'm lucky, as lucky as lucky is lucky. I live here in a place where I can say hello and hear the same back. When I pass by a person, me dressed in garish colours, that they would not suspect me as something horrid. Strange, sure, that I'd understand, but not as something that should be killed, for looking too strange, for saying the wrong word, for deciding that I like the same kind or none at all. I'm lucky that I live here, in this wet isle of a dying empire, where once the sun never sets, now it never rises. I'm lucky, as I should be dead. Out of all the places to be born and raised, out of all the dying countries to be living in, it's the one where nothing happens. It's the one where I could rest, without knowing that if I'd live, knowing if I'd make it, that I'd be able to close my eyes and open them again without waking up piled into shattered rock, that I'd remain whole in body, if not in soul. I should be dead, dead as dead is dead. And yet, by some stroke of luck and opportunity, I stand, living. And I'm sorry for that. I truly am. So, if you can, forgive me. Please.
Help. My name is Zoe, and I have a poem called The Prophet and the Witch. You tell me you speak with a higher power and it makes you a prophet. I say me too and am burned at the stake. Welcome to the melted ice of my heart and soul, where the shallow end reaches the ocean floor. It shouldn't take a hunger strike to hold a conversation. You megalomaniac set up the dollhouse to have barred windows to which you and you alone hold the key. Just when I've told myself that at least you permit me to feed myself, I feel your palm on my stomach, the iron bars of our bedroom window against my back. I am pushed through until the fresh air embraces me. The last thing I see is a clone of myself on my side of our bed. There's a dead man on the street. A day later, you'll find pocket watch and daughter on the same list. I am fighting for both sides in a battle between passively walking down the aisle wearing white and a smile versus coming down the aisle in my Sunday best, carried by 6 of you dressed as pallbearers. Working for the man to come home, to the man to cook, for the man to have sex with the man, to give birth for the man, to raise a child alone. That is how I learned the difference between murder and being left for dead. My daughter will be sexualized from rocking horse to rocking chair. When she grows up into a movie star, you'll tell her to only wear pink and unicorn print panties while you have her brush her hair up into 2 pigtails. I take a spoon to the eye and serve you my retinas, but your eyelids are all of a sudden much too heavy to hold up. Blood soaks my palm, fingers, forearm as I walk past a stranger in the street. I'm carrying a pear-shaped sack. Inside it, our fusion sits like a carnival fish in a bag. You press your thumb into pies and eat your fill, expecting the pie to clean itself up because you don't want a messy kitchen, all the while denying the pie the dustpan and brush it needs to clean up the mess you made of it. I will be the only one of us branded by what you gave to me, a walking aftermath. The innards of a tomato trudge its feet from my cheek to my chin. I drag a lit cigarette over my lips as if it were Chanel Rouge Allure. I coat my face in cement to smooth out the folds of skin that I'm not allowed to have, that you do not allow me to have. I push my fingers down my throat until I've thrown up enough to look as photoshopped as your favorite magazine cover. It's coming home, you chant. And I hope to God that it is, for my sake. 38%. Domestic violence increases by 38% when your home team loses. Let me say it again. Domestic violence increases by 38% when your home team loses. You hide behind pitiful excuses because if you're the reason, I must be the blame. However else will you avoid consequence? You stoop low enough to preach to me that all is fair in love and war, but I am not in love with you. Your only love is petty tyranny over me. I live in a world of real-life face-huggers and xenomorphs who don the eyes of a pup. When the alien bursts from my chest, it will look at me with your eyes. We live in a world where 2 tits and a hole is reason enough to take away a solo stroll under dripping tar sky, to take away the pleasure from making love, to take away the pink from my cheeks, all because you're so fragile in your defensiveness, all because you refuse to admit that a prophet and a witch have always seen with the very same eyes. Wow.
How was that? All right, so now we're going to have the collective poem that everyone wrote. So the format to this was that I gave each of them a number, and then I said to them, you're going to write 3 lines of poetry each. All right, so they all wrote 3 kind of non sequiturs, nothing to do with each other, just 3 separate lines. And then we did a random number generator. So number 6, and we took the first line from number 6, and then it went number 8, we took the first line from number 8, and we built the poem in that way. So this is 30 lines, or 31 lines. Each stanza had 10 lines each, because there was 31 of us, but there was 10 of us, and we worked it that way. The maths makes sense when you hear it. It was never my forte. I'm going to read their bios out, and they're going to come up one by one, and then Ed's going to recite the poem. So this is a completely random word exercise. So up first we got Millie Downton. Millie gets 1 day off from work, and now it's all gone to hell. She prefers books to people. Millie. also heard from Ruth Slopper. Ruth is a wannabe rock star. She does not believe that fish have souls. Dominic Robertson. Dominic is problematic at wizard academic wizard parties. He's yet to acquire a crystal ball, but he's working on it. We heard from Zoe Burwood. Zoe picks the pepperoni off her pizza before eating it. Eddie Rose, you can call him indecisive, but Eddie has recently rediscovered Red Leicester cheese and he's never going back. Rosie Mathewson. Rosie collects waistcoats and writes poetry to avoid facing their feelings. James McMillan. James is not a huge fan of sardines, but he's not opposed to them either. Our four very lovely volunteers who are over the age of 21, but you probably would not have guessed it. Lou Orza, if that is her real name, lies a lot. Valerie Goodwin once lived in Chelsea Barracks and now she makes hats. Alex was once a cheese tour guide and is now an international spy in disguise, but don't tell him. And finally, Raja milks goats and otherwise wears, oh, this is the wrong one. He wears shirts that match his socks. Big round of applause for everyone, please. I've worked very, very hard, and this has been an absolute delight to kind of steer the ship and see them grow, develop, challenge themselves, their artistry, think about new forms. So it's really been an honour and a privilege for me to be able to work with them as well. So thank you very much, guys, for putting up with all the different ideas I was throwing at you and for staying with it. It's been great. It's been really good. So, yeah.
Okay, and this is the collective poem that they wrote, and it's called Something Slightly More Optimistic. Green and growing, damp neck where the dog lapped, a raw neck where the hooks of a feline tongue tear up your skin like paper, black emptiness all around. He runs from me now. Things come along out of the blue. Who are they meant for, me or you? Unclean garments gather beside the portal. Wish they would kick in your kneecaps because it's better to be broken than unbeautiful. Sea woman lights the lamp before the sea opens up a cannonball-sized hole carved into the side of your head, the lung clenched and spread. The pain has finally ceased, where the rock face expanded and contracted and ripped a hole. Say it. You've got to say it. Just say it. It must be said, not bottled, when once he sought you out. Honey, you couldn't keep up if you tried. This just isn't your sport. Holds up a mermaid's purse and fills it with pebbles. Who do you think you are? Who do you think I am? Wishing there was still time to wonder, she wept anew, again, afresh, standing like a crucifix among the corn, unholy, holy angel, unfallen and broken. Ring in the ear, the mind drill and bleed, unspent tokens served up on a spoon, sewing up their mouth so that nothing gets out, but more so that nothing, no one, nowhere gets in. We don't kiss like that round here. It's for the dogs to chew. Fill it with the lyrical equivalent of loose change. I wonder why it always falls when you least expect it. Flesh withers, veins glow in the dark. Suffering ends as we begin our journey to hell on December the 12th. My perfect son, the error of ways wasn't bad enough. The born of men are broken. Thank you very much indeed for coming and lending your support to some prodigiously extraordinary, talented people. Just to let you know that on Wednesday the 13th of November, in this very space here, written by our very own Rosie. It's a brand new show, We Could Be Pirates, which is absolutely brilliant, and you must, and you should, and you ought to come and check it out, and if you don't, you'll be missing out. It's fantastic. There's lots of flyers. Come and pick one up at the end of the show. Thank you very much indeed. A huge thank you and a massive round of applause to Anthony Anaxaguru. He was being very modest when he said he'd steered the ship. He's inspired the ship. He's created the ship. He's helped us. He's given us all the tools to build the ship. He's created the rain so that the ship has somewhere to rise, and he's been an absolute inspiration. So thank you very much indeed. And of course, an enormous thank you to the ridiculously talented young people who not only are able to make this incredible stuff and create it, but at this age are quite happy to just come and stand up on stage and present it all to you, which is extraordinary. So one more time, a huge round of applause, please, for our Resonate. Thank you very much indeed.